everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be talking about my January TBR. So I'm starting off 2017 on a great note because the first week of 2017, the 2 videos that I uploaded were up late. I'm super sorry about that. I did, I think, mention in Tuesday, which ended up being Wednesday's video, that I might have this video up late or there might not be a video at all. I honestly wasn't planning on doing a video, but my sister left this morning. I have 2 sisters, and the last one, who is still home, left this morning. So now I'm by myself and I'm really bored and I have no one to talk to, so I'm gonna talk to myself, but actually talking to a camera, so you'll hear me delayed. Anyways, that was weird. Moving on. I don't know what I'm doing. It's weird. I'm dancing. Anyways, so I'm kind of aiming big for January because I figure, I mean, why not? I probably won't end up reading a lot of these books, but I do have a lot of advanced reader copies that I have to read, so I want to try and get those done. And then I have a lot of books that have been on my radar lately that I really want to read, so I'm just trying to kind of start off the year on a really organized and like, I'm gonna do this, this, and this note, so that's kind of what this TBR is a product of. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it. And the books that I chose for this TBR are also a product of my 2017 bookish resolutions, if you will. I haven't actually done the video for that yet, but I will be doing it in the next 2 weeks or so. But I have a ton of videos that I want to get up. I've just been very disorganized, and we're just gonna get back on things starting next week. We are going to be back to the regular scheduled videos, I promise. So I want to start off with the arcs. So the first one is A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. I've actually already read this book. I was approached by Disney Hyperion about doing a sponsored video around this, so thank you to them for sending this book to me. I read the synopsis of it and I was intrigued by it. It's about a boy with ADHD who is working as the assistant to the school psychologist, and he is put in charge of getting this other boy who he actually recognizes because he used to be his foster brother and he hasn't seen him in 5 years. So he's seeing this boy and he's basically exactly the same as when he was younger, but not in a good way. He's kind of very childish, and not in like a childish annoying way, but he's very to himself and reverted, and he kind of is suspicious about him and starts learning that he has some hidden secrets. Now, I was intrigued by the synopsis, and then I looked up some reviews on Goodreads, and people were just buzzing about this book, and I was really excited for it after that. I am really picky about my contemporaries though, so I wasn't sure how I would end up liking it, but I absolutely adored it, and it is coming out January 10th, so it's coming out next Tuesday. Definitely get your hands on a copy of this book because it is absolutely amazing. I will be doing a review for it soon, and I will also be doing a video surrounding some of the kind of morals of this book, if you will, on the 17th. The next book on my TBR is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. I was sent this by HarperCollins, so thank you so much to them for sending this to me. Now, the thing with this book, I am fully aware of all the controversy surrounding this book. I know all about it and I have done my research on it, but I was sent this book by the publisher with the expectation that I'm going to read and review it. So I'm still going to read it and I'm still going to review it, but that being said, I'm going to be going into it very critical, and I'm going to be kind of looking for the things. I'm going to be nitpicking a lot, and not that I don't normally do that, but I'm specifically looking for the racist tendencies that people are saying that this book has. So I'm going to be looking for that, and just because I'm sent a book by a publisher, and this is in all cases, doesn't mean that I'm going to automatically say that I love it. Like, you guys are trusting me to give you an honest opinion, and I value that relationship that I feel like we have with me giving you honest opinions. So I'm going to give you my entirely honest opinion on this book. I might end up liking it, I might not, I don't know, but like I said, I'm going to be going into it with a very critical lens. And if you guys don't know, Veronica Roth is the author of the Divergent series, and this is her new sci-fi. I don't really know too much about it, really, other than the controversies, but I'm going to be trying to go into it with an open mind, but also critical lens. The next book is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I was sent this by Indigo Books and Music, so thank you to them for sending this to me. Along with this, I was sent Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, which is the second book in this series. I know a lot of people have really been looking forward to this book. Truth Witch was all the buzz this time last year, like people were just going crazy for it, and for some reason, I just never ended up picking it up. It kind of piqued my interest, but I don't know what I was doing. I just never really looked into it more and didn't end up picking up my own copies. So I really want to read this because this one is coming out on January 31st, and I kind of really want to try and read it before the the second one comes out so I can try and read both of them and get you guys a review for both of them, but it's probably not gonna end up happening, but I'm going to try. The next arc on my list is one that I actually don't have yet. I was just approached by Harlequin Teen yesterday about it, so thank you to them for sending it to me in advance since it is on its way. It is coming out January 31st, and it is Our Own Private Universe by Robin Talley. This, I think, is a great place to start because I am planning on reading more diversely in 2017. That's one of my main goals that I have, and I think this one will be really great for that because it's about a bisexual teen. So I'm really excited to read about a bisexual teen because I've never read about one before, and I'm just very much looking forward to reading a book like that. The final two arcs on my TBR are coming out in February. So the first one is The Valiant by Leslie Livingston. I'm really excited about this book because it's by a Canadian author. It's coming out on February 14th, by the way, but it's by a Canadian author, which I always love supporting my fellow Canadians, and it's also a female gladiator. So it's all about this girl who, she was always living in her older sister's shadow, but then her older sister ends up getting killed when Julius Caesar's armies overtake the island of Britain. So she ends up having to take on her sister's role, but before she can even take up that role, she ends up being captured and she's put in a school for female gladiators where none other than Julius Caesar himself is a patron, and she is relying on him to survive. So it sounds amazing. I love the fact that it's a female gladiator. Like, badass females are what I live for, so I'm super excited about this one. And the final arc on my TBR is Optimists Die First by Susan Nielsen. This is another Canadian author, which I'm very excited about, and this one I'm really excited for it because I feel like the title sounds like something that I would enjoy, but then I was on Goodreads yesterday and it says like for fans of blah 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 and blah blah blah. I forget what books it was, but it was two books that I really didn't like, so now I'm a little bit apprehensive, but I'm going to go into it with an open mind. It's all about a girl who, she has had a lot of family tragedies happen to her, and she is afraid because of that. She's really afraid of the world because she thinks that life is out to get you, but then she meets this guy in her art therapy group who really intrigues her, and she starts to learn more about him and learns that he has some secrets that he's hiding. So this book is super short, so I think it'll be a very quick read, and I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, I'm going to go into it with an open mind. So that's all for the advanced reader copies on my TBR. Those last two that I showed you, Valiant and Optimists Die First, were also given to me by Indigo Books and Music, the bookstore that I work at, so thank you once again to them for giving me those. These next ones are obviously already out, especially this next one, which is The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis. This is the third book in the Chronicles of Narnia if you're reading them in chronological order like I prefer to do. So I read the first two in December, and I'm looking forward to continuing with this series. This year I'm planning on doing the same thing that I did last year where I read a classic every month. So I'm starting school this year, or starting school this year, and starting school again this month. The semester is starting again, my final semester of school, which is crazy. So I do have a few classics that I have to read for that, so I might sometimes cheat and just use those. But this month I decided to pick up this one. The Narnia books are super quick, really enjoyable, and I'm just really looking forward to continuing with the series. The next three books are sequels that I have been meaning to get to, and I have just been putting off for forever, and I'm sure you guys already know two out of the three that I'm going to be talking about. So the first one is Frost Like Night by Sarah Bosch. I'm actually finally reading this. I'm about halfway through right now, and I'm really enjoying it. This is the conclusion to the Snow Like Ashes trilogy. I absolutely love this world, so I'm really sad that I'm going to be finishing reading about this world because it's just an amazingly created world. But I love the characters, and I'm really excited to see, I said cited, not excited, really excited to see how they are going to end up because I really don't know at this point. And the second book that you guys can probably guess, especially if you guys were watching Bookmas, is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the conclusion to the Six of Crows duology, and I just haven't read it yet, but it's all about a ragtag group of friends who went on this heist, and it was crazy, and the first book ended on such a cliffhanger. I have no idea what's going to happen with the characters, and I honestly think I've been putting it off because I'm scared and I don't want it to be over, but I really just need to read it because it's going to be fabulous. I just know it will be. And the last sequel on this list is one that I have been meaning to get to for 2 years now, and that is Cress by Marissa Meyer. I've only read the first two books in the Lunar Chronicles. I haven't continued with it because I wanted to get a hardcover copy of this, but by the time I was ready to buy the hardcover copy, they didn't have them in stores anymore, so I didn't end up getting it, and I just never ended up ordering it. I don't know, but I finally ordered it this past Christmas, and I'm really excited to have it. This is a retelling of Rapunzel because all of the Lunar Chronicles retell a different thing, or a different fairy tale, I guess, and I've heard that this is everyone's favorite, so I'm very much looking forward to getting back into the series and especially getting into this one. And now we are finally down to the final 2 books on this TBR. There's no way I'm gonna read all these books, but I am dreaming big this month. So the next book is Anna and the Swallow Man by Gabrielle Savit. This is a book that has been intriguing me for a very long time. It's a historical fiction / magical realism from my understanding, and I love historical fiction, especially around winter. There's something about reading historical fiction in the fall and winter that it just feels right. Like, I have no clue. I can't explain it at all. So I really want to get to this one this month, and I'm hoping that I will be able to. It's super short, super quick, but I've heard it's very good, very impactful, so I'm looking forward to it. And the final book on this TBR is A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluess. I was just watching, before I filmed this video, I was just watching Jesse the Reader's latest book haul, and he included this book, and I knew that it was about like sorcery and witches and one of the most powerful witches, all that jazz, but I didn't know that it took place in Victorian England, which is like my favorite setting. I absolutely love that setting. And there was something else that he said that intrigued me, but I can't exactly remember what it is right now, but everything he said really made me want to read it, so I'm moving it up on my TBR and hoping to get to it this month. So those are all the books on my very ambitious January TBR pile. Like I said, there's like no way that I'm going to end up reading all these books. I will probably, hopefully, be getting to all the arcs because, I mean, they're coming out soon and I need to do a review, so I kind of have to get to them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books, your thoughts on them, or what is on your January TBR. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you